Hi guys, welcome to the Little Miss Tony Cooking Show from Tony's Little Bambinos in Merrill, Michigan. And today we're making homemade manicottas and homemade spaghetti sauce. So we're going to start out with some fresh vegetables. We're going to start out dicing some onion and get that in our, just give it a rough chop and let's get that in our food processor. Dump it all in here. Give it a little pulse. Well, let's get it on there first. Don't worry about thick or thin. We're going to use our emulsifier. So I'm going to turn the pan on, let the pan get hot, about medium heat for a minute while we're doing this. Then, okay, we're going to rough dice these carrots and onions. We'll get the rest of them in there. There we go now. Take that off. We're going to put a little bit of olive oil in the pan. Let that heat up. Okay, I always leave a couple carrots for me. I'm going to take this off. This recipe today that I'm cooking, the manicotti mixture, is a recipe that my mother taught me how to cook a long time ago when I was a kid. I just kind of tweaked it and changed it a little bit, but it's a really good recipe and I've never seen anybody else really have the same recipe as this before. Put this over here. Then we're going to get our garlic ready. All right, give this just a little rough chop. Remember, we're gonna use an emulsifier anyways, so everything doesn't have to be teeny tiny chopped for the spaghetti sauce. Actually, we're gonna make it like a marinara sauce. There's lots of different types of spaghetti sauce. There's marinaras, there's bolognese, which is with meat. Everybody has their own little recipe. We're going to stir it up a little bit. I'll give it just a little hair more of olive oil. And now let's put some pepper in it. And some sea salt. All right, we're going to let that cook down for a minute. And while we're letting the spaghetti sauce cook for just a minute, I'm going to get our parsley ready. Just grab a little handful. When I was younger, I used to like to hang out in the kitchen with my mother. And she used to cook. There was 5 of us, so she cooked all the time. My father actually came from a restaurant family. My great-grandpa started the original Tony's restaurants, and his sons and my uncles worked for him. And then my father opened up his own restaurant, and I worked for him from like the time I was 12. And now we have our own restaurant, and we took over his restaurant for a number of years. And we're teaching our son how to run the restaurant. So it's been a family business for at least 60 years. So I've learned a lot, had a lot of fun, and now we're trying to teach him how to do stuff like this. So we're still letting the onions, the garlic, the carrots, and the parsley sweat out. We salt and peppered them. And now I'm going to give it a little bit of spice. This is garlic. probably about 2 tablespoons. This is basil, a good 2 tablespoons. Oregano, a good 3 tablespoons. And we'll mix her in a little bit. I like to put the spices in with the veggies so that they get a chance to cook down a little bit and pull more of the flavor out. But I also have, again, my tomatoes from the farmers in Merrill. These are just blanched, peeled. I take them and I throw them in a plastic bag and a freezer bag and I freeze them. So this is like 12 cups of fresh tomatoes. A lot of people, especially in the older days, they let their spaghetti sauce cook for like 2 days. I'm not such a firm believer in that. I think if you get the flavor right, and when you're cooking it, especially like baking it in the oven, it's gonna cook even more. These manicottas probably take about an hour to prep and get ready for the oven. And then you put them in the oven at 350. You cover them with aluminum foil. And then you take and, after you're done with that, you pull them out and let them set for about a half hour so the cheese firms up a little more. Now I've put in, like I said, I put in the tomatoes. I put in 1 large can of tomato sauce. I like this tomato sauce a little more runnier. If it was on like a bolognese sauce, when you add your meat and stuff, you can leave it where it's not as runny. But I like it a little bit runnier for manicottas, lasagna. Okay, so now we're gonna take and we're gonna let this cook down. I'm gonna get the ingredients out for the insides of the manicottas while this cooks and comes to a boil. And I'll get the ingredients all out, and then we'll emulsify this, and we'll be on our way to making homemade manicottas. Just 1 minute, and let me get the manicotti stuff ready. Okay guys, so the sauce was up to a boil, and I've sprayed the bottom of my pan, and now I'm just layering it with the sauce. All right, now this is ready. We're gonna start with, we need a box of cooked noodles. We need a huge container of the ricotta cheese, which is like 4 cups. We need a couple cups of mozzarella, 3 scrambled eggs, sea salt, garlic powder, diced onions. I dice them real small because my son really doesn't like onions, so. And then some fresh grated Parmesan cheese. And all we're gonna do is mix that together and add a little parsley in. We've got the ricotta, 2 cups of the mozzarella. All right, and we put 2 cups of mozzarella in, 3 eggs, I just break them. Let's put about 1/4 cup of diced onion in it. Some garlic powder, probably about 1.5 teaspoons. And this is the specialty, sugar. At least a good tablespoon. And we'll put a little bit of salt in there. This is sea salt. And then we'll take some fresh grated Parmesan cheese. We'll put that in there. And then all we do is mix this up. It's moist. I don't like dry manicottas. All right, we'll put a little bit of parsley in. Let's give it a little bit of chop on some of it. There we go. All right, then let's give her a mix. Okay, that part's done. Now we're gonna start to put the noodles and the cheese together, put it in our pan, and we'll be good to go. There we go. We'll just I like to get like 2, 3 out at a time. All right, stuff them with some cheese. Get like 6 of them made at a time. They're made in no time. Getting everything prepped is probably the longest time that it takes to make this recipe. All right, get it all together. Just finish putting all these, roll them up, finish making a whole pan worth. Make a pan for my son's friends. And I think I probably have a nice little Italian salad and some Italian bread with this tonight. It needs to cook for like 45 minutes on 350. And then I let it set like a half hour so that the noodles and the cheese actually firms up a little bit. All right. And I happen to have some already in the oven cooking, so come on over this way and let's see what we got. Ooh, we have a nice pan that's been cooking. All right. This has been cooking for 45 minutes, and this is what it looks like before. You can add some fresh cheese on it, add some fresh parsley on it, and we'll just let this sit for a half hour. And then I also have a little sample here for Mr. Steve Fritzler, because the boss man likes to eat before everybody else eats, so I have to make him a little sample. And with the sample of these ones, I also have some Italian bread from Napolitano Bakery, and this also is my family too. They created this bread for the Tony's restaurants. And I have some butter here that is I made it with my niece. She brought it for me as some heavy cream as a Christmas present. And she taught me how to make butter over Christmas. That was my Christmas present, which was the best. Actually, I had got a chance to watch her little girl and spend some time with her. So that was the best Christmas present of all. So I have a little manicotti for a tester. I have that. I have my own bottle of wine. I'm gonna pour 2 glasses because I'm gonna call Mr. Fritzler into the kitchen and let him come have a taste and see how I'm doing. Steve, you wanna come on in and have a little taste of manicottis? Ah, here he comes. Honey, would you like to try a little manicotti?
I'd love to try a little manicotti.
Okay.
What would really go good with this is a little wop salad.
Oh, I was thinking a glass of wine.
Wine too.
All right, well, why don't you go grab the salad and let's make some Italian dressing for him. Are you done?
Excellent.
I'm gonna try this while he's getting all the stuff for the salad ready. Brings me to home, to the times when things were much easier, to the times when everything was more carefree. So we've got our salad here. I'm gonna have Steve make some homemade Italian dressing for us today. And to that we have oregano, We have garlic. We have some sweet and low or stevia, whichever you'd like to use. Some olive oil and some rice wine, red wine. A little bit of water. And he's gonna fix her up. I'm gonna go get some lemon for us. Now when you're making a salad, I like to roll the lemons, bring out the juice. But I also like to stick the dressing on about a half hour before dinner. It wilts the lettuce a little bit, but I'll tell you what, it gives the salad a much better taste. It gets a chance to grab onto the lettuce. So I use romaine lettuce instead of regular lettuce. So it has some kind of nutritional value, and spinach. I put a little bit of lemon. And that's our sweetener.
All right.
And you got everything in there. Do you got salt in there, honey? I don't think so.
Need a little salt.
Here we go. Here's a little bit of sea salt. So he's pretty much doing half water, half olive oil. Shaking it all up.
Perfect.
Did you put a little rice wine in it?
Not yet.
Mm.
Get this all stirred up here. Nice.
Yeah. All right. Stir it up and let's pour a little bit on and let's taste it out. Ooh. Nummy, nummy, nummy. Now this recipe is like the Italian dressing that my daddy makes.
You know what would go really good with this?
What?
A little manicotti over there.
All right, guys. Till next time, thank you. This is Little Miss Tony from Little Bambino's Restaurant, and have a great day.